Bringing it tonight, goddamn. Told you I can't read.
Things I see in Bridging the Gap is through Timberland and Swiss Beats and what they got going on in verses and Triller. You know, that's one of the easiest ways to get the young folks on. And when I watch, I'm getting beside myself right now. When I watched KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane, that was a class. That wasn't a show. That was a class. It was a show to me, but it was more teaching the knowledge of what they had. Every single thing they had Crazy Legs out there, the original B-boys. They had I forget the dude's name, but the original Pop Lock out there. It was crazy. The one thing I don't understand is why the new generation, why they don't build each other up. That's when I was coming up, you had people in the same age group, and they would build each other up. This is like KRS-One used to talk in his lectures. You want to build a community, you talk good about the people around you. I'm gonna build my brother up, Anon, on his artistry and his craft. He's gonna build me up in my artistry and my craft. And we do it for each other, and it works out. You don't see that in the new thing. Everything's this and that, and you see a lot of things going on. You see it on the news and people getting put out for the wrong reasons. A lot of violence for no reason.
Well, here's the thing, in my humble opinion. I was always taught that it's a man's responsibility. And give a damn what it is. It's on the man.
Right.
It's on the man of the house. It's on the father. You know, the mother and the children are governed by the father. And in hip hop, historically, the culture is reflective of society.
Right.
So if you have fatherless children, then you're gonna have a fatherless genre. You see, rock and roll respects its fathers.
Right.
The Jimi Hendrix, the even Eddie Van Halen's,
right.
You know, the Slashes, all of those great guitars, all of those great bands, all of those great country music respects its fathers.
Right.
Waylon Jennings, Charlie Pride, most of us smoke weed all the time. On the road again. Just can't wait to get home.
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson. You understand? Even Latino cultures respect their fathers.
Yes.
So when you have the Latin Grammys or the country Grammys or any of those other genres, the fathers are welcome.
Right.
But in hip hop, if we have fatherless households, you have a fatherless genre. So now the babies feel like, you know what, Daddy, you wasn't there. Why should I listen to you? You understand what I'm saying? So now we have to get back as more of this generation is taking pride in being actual fathers to their children.
Right.
Like it's a whole new blossoming thing. Like my best friend he's happy to be a father.
Right.
And his kid spends time with his kid, makes breakfast for his son, loves hanging out with his daughter. So now that should be reflective in the culture now. Now you should see a change in the shift. So just to get back to your point as it pertains to Swiss Beats and Timberland, well, now those responsible people are saying, you know what? Let's create an environment that respects our fathers. Whether I agree with the quality of a Drink Champs, in theory, Nori is saying, let's respect our fathers.
Right.
And now look at the terminology that this generation uses. Let's give them their flowers.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
So, and that brings us back to our topic of what? Bridging the gap. So, D. Brooks, to your point, guess what? Now that this versus is hip, is chic, everybody watches, guess what it's imparting? Knowledge. The kids didn't give a damn about no KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane until they saw him on what? Versus. You feel me?
I definitely respect that myself because I watch a lot of Drink Champs, And I even saw the early days to the current days. And I love the point, we're not going to wait till you're dead.
Exactly.
And you look at hip hop, there's a lot of concentration on that, where Biggie Smalls is great, but he's not here.
He did.
Tupac is great. He's not here.
He did.
Big L, not here.
Did.
I can just keep going on the list of
Dead,
dead artists.
And then when you die, guess what? You're the greatest of all time.
All time.
And he was a good man.
Yes.
He was a very good man.
Exactly.
I'll be laughing about that.
The perfect example was, guess what? You know, I'm happy before X passed, DMX passed, he did verses.
Yes.
By God's grace. He had a chance to see all of the love or feel it worldwide of how they, even though I've been at an X concert and X always got love, guess what? Before he died, the world, he got to feel the world in that versus situation.
Right.
Not just 30,000 at an arena or 50,000 or whatever. He got to see the world, show him love. You know?
Yeah.
And that's how you bridge the gap. You know, but it starts with the parents. And honestly, this beautiful culture of hip hop that we have was actually birthed out of dysfunction. You know, it was birthed out of, you know, the fathers of the music saying, yo, what are you doing with my record? You cutting it, scratching it, slowing it down, using the sample, you know?
Yeah.
What are you doing with my record? As opposed to, hey son, let me take a listen to that. So it was birthed out of dysfunction. You know, so now it's sort of like this whole idea of psychology and therapy and shit like that that we're appreciating now. It's like you got childhood traumas. The culture has traumas.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like your parents told you that's whack. Oh my God, it's horrible. Look what you're doing to those records, scratching them up like that. So now we can't in part say, you know what? That's trash. You guys are mumble rappers. You guys, oh my God, I hate what this is. No, don't do that. Because you know how I felt when people were talking about your Pee-wee dance. You know? Or when fucking Biz Markie was off key. You got what I need. You didn't like how that felt when your parents and musicians criticized your stuff. So why would you criticize these kids' stuff? Maybe you just need to understand a little bit. That's why I started smoking weed, to understand. That's why I'm going to try lean, to understand. You understand? You just got to understand where they're coming from because somebody understood you. What you want, huh? Dope or dog food? I thought that shit was the greatest shit in the world. Gotta appreciate these kids. Listen, I appreciate Future a little bit better.
Right.
You know, from that standpoint. And that's how you never get old.
Nah, I agree with you. Like DBrklyn, Styles P and Dave East. That was amazing. You gotta admit that. Bridging the gap. Or even when J. Cole, he sat down with what, Lil Yachty, I think it was?
21 Savage. J. Cole is if you love J. Cole will do a record with anybody. You know what I'm saying? He did records with 21 Savage and all of these guys. He like you say, Yachty. He doesn't say he has the tight ass as the people who love him to say, you know what? Oh my God, you did a song with this or this song with that one.
Right.
You know, but you know what? I'm a musicologist. I remember I was a big Van Halen fan. Big 1984 was one of my favorite albums. The one with Jump and Panama and all them records. And then I remember when David Lee Roth left the group and he did a song called I'm Just a Gigolo. And everybody in the, oh my God, what are you doing? You got to give artists the latitude to move around, expand, you know, and play with different things. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we just so in our own time period, you know. And the thing is, we screw up. You want me to tell you one of the biggest words that screws up the bridging of the gap? Old school. Old school. That's a horrible word.
Yes, it is.
Horrible word. We should never call our culture anything old school. Legendary, classic. Verbiage matters. You old school. You can't be old school. Be old school. We old school. Listen, this culture is built on brand new sneakers. Fresh gear. Look at the word death. Fresh. Dope.
Yeah.
And you call your heroes old school. Who gonna respect us? The gap, the bridge is burnt. Between them on that side of the bridge, you on that side of the bridge, and everybody pointing at each other.